Hi, this is Tesseract and welcome to an Odyssey guide to Windows Movie Maker. This is a new kind of guide that we're doing at the moment just to help out our own members and other members of the community for how to use a nice, free, relatively simple to use program to edit movies. So as we say, it's a free program. You can download it from the Microsoft Windows site. It's in some ways it's limited. There's a lot of stuff that it can't do, but in terms of just taking your raw files and turning them into something you can put on YouTube, it is more than capable. So when you open up Windows Movie Maker, this is what you'll see. You've got a big white space to the bottom right. It's got click here to browse your videos and photos. To the left there's a black square which is your preview window, and along the top you've got various grayed out options which will show up as soon as you add a clip. You've got a couple of different tabs at the top there as well: animations, visual effects, project view, and there'll be a couple more that will be added as you get started. The first thing you're going to need to do in any given project is to bring in your files. So you can either click on that big button there, click here to browse for videos and photos, and that opens up your browser on your computer. Alternatively, at the top left you've got add videos and photos. It brings up exactly the same window, two different ways of doing the same thing. Alternatively, you can just good old click and drag and it'll pull the file in. Now when it pulls the file in, what it'll do is it'll have to process the file. Because I've already brought this one in, it didn't do it for me, but if I drag this extra one, you can see at the bottom left there, it has to kind of process the file so that it can actually play it properly. So you might have to wait a little while for that to actually work, but we don't need that one, so we'll stop doing that. Once you've got your file in here, you can notice that your window's changed a little bit. You've got your left hand side, you've got your preview of your file, so you can click play that, and there's the button that you can full screen it on as well. You can pause and play whilst in full screen mode, and at the top right there's a back to Movie Maker button. So if we go back into full screen mode, you've also got share movie at the top left, which will publish it straight to Facebook or YouTube, and you've also got change theme. Now this isn't the only way you can change the theme. You can get a black and white type effect, as you can see here. You can also change it from the main tab as well, but this lets you do it whilst you're previewing. And what it is it just applies these effects to every single clip in your movie. You can apply them independently as well, but the themes apply them to the whole movie. So, as soon as you bring a clip in, you get this video tools button at the top coming along from your other tabs. The first thing you've got is your video volume. That'll set the volume on the clip that you've brought in to high or low, or if you want to get rid of it entirely. You also have fade effects. Now this will let you, instead of the volume just bursting in at full volume, it'll allow it to fade in slowly. So it'll go from a low to the kind of whatever volume you've set it to. The split tool does exactly what it sounds like. It'll separate the clip into two different clips at whatever point it is that you've currently clipped at. The trim tool, on the other hand, allows you to vary the start and end point. So whereas the split clip will simply split a clip in two, this will let you shorten the beginning or end of it. So you can see at the top you've got this start and end point that you can set, or you can pull it on the slider at the bottom. We're making it really, really short here. As you can see at the top, it's only lasting 0.03 seconds, and you'll notice that the size of the clip on your timeline will get much shorter. This is a good indication of the length of the clip. So you can see that the main clip is one big thing that goes off at the end of the timeline, whereas that first clip has been reduced to a single frame. The last thing of note on this tab is the speed. This allows you to vary the speed of the clip. So if you set it to a high speed, it'll look like everything is moving in fast forward, the clip length will be shortened. On the other hand, if you set it to a low speed, everything will look like it's going in slow motion, and the length of the clip will be increased. This is just your usual kind of slow motion fast forward type effects here. We'll set it back to default. To go back to the home tab, we can see the themes as we mentioned before. Those are those windows at the top in the middle there. As you hover over them, you can get some previews of what would be going on in the clips with those themes. To show the various transitions better, I've brought in a different clip from a different video just to get a good contrast between the two. We'll have to wait for that one to finish loading in. So in the meantime, the other part of the themes is the effects that the visual effects that you can apply to clips. So again, you can see in the preview window here, there's a whole bunch of different effects that you've got for these. There are colour changing effects, and you've got fade effects as well. Fade in from black or fade out to black is one of the most handy ones you're going to get from here. We can see the transitions now as well here. So if we come along to the bottom, we can have the two clips. You can see distinctive clips here. And again, you just go up to the top, you go to animations, and here you can preview the difference between the different animations, the different fades that you can do. Unfortunately, a lot of these can look quite unprofessional if you use too many of them. So a couple of them are you can pull off quite well, but for the most part, they're not going to look great for the kind of videos that we're doing. But as you can scroll down through the list of them, you can see there's a lot of different effects. You've got the crossfade one, I think is actually alright, and the blur through ones as well. But the funkier effect ones, you're not going to use them a huge lot. So that's mostly it for the various effects you can do to a video clip. You've got your visual effects, you've got your animations. The projects tab is mostly just for your combining everything together. It's not a huge benefit, I don't feel. If you want to emphasize your audio instead of the music from the clip, you can do it there. But talking about music, how do you add it? Again, you've got this button at the top. Just add music from PC, and you can open up a tab that will let you open up music into the file. Or as before, you can just click and drag from your browser into the Movie Maker window. So when you add the file in, again you get another tab that pops up at the top, Music Tools, and you get your music appearing on the timeline in wavelength form underneath your clip. So you can move that about to sit at different points if you like. We'll just throw in a couple of extra ones. You can see they just, as a standard, they'll be added to the end of your clip. So you put whatever the last piece of music is in the file, they'll be added. However, if you go up to the add music, there's also the add music at the current point, and it'll start the music. The song that you add will be added at that point, and then everything else will be moved along to after that. But on the whole, you can just kind of throw some music on, and it'll just, you can move it about on the timeline as you like. So again, you've got your music tools options, and it's very similar to your video tools. You can edit the volume of it, you can split it into different parts, you can set start times and end points, you can have it fade in and out if you like. They all work relatively similar. There's nothing too complex about this. The last thing to go over is adding text to your videos. Now there are three standard ways of doing this. You've got a title, which appears at the beginning, you've got a caption, which appears on a clip, and you've got credits, which appear at the end. You can customise these to being however you like, but those are just some preset standards that you've got. So if you add credits, you can see, jumping to the end, you've got a black background clip, and you can type in the box. As long as your cursor's on it, you can go into your preview window to set that. You can change the font if you like, but any text box must have the same font. So you see I'd selected Tesseract there, but even the credits changed. You can't have different fonts or different sizes or anything on the same clip. So your transparency, if anybody's familiar with Photoshop or anything like that. That just makes it fade out, and you can set different foreground, background colours, or outline text as well. And just as a preview, the animation for the text that the credits comes with is the standard rolling credits. So you can see again in your animations box at the top there in your text tools, that's the scroll. So you can actually set that to be anything you like, but because we started with a preset of credits, it's the text scroll. And you can move that credits, the animation block, off of the black tab. You can put it on top of your actual clip if you like. The black background it just gives you as a preset clip. So that was credits that will automatically jump up at the end, and it'll be the credits scroll that will be added in. You can see the different types of effects. You can have just none, you could just have the text on the screen. You've got fades, various other ways of the text appearing. If you've chosen the credits as your preset, if that's how you've added the text, it will come in with these various presets of the scrolling text, but you're free to change that as you like. If you've chosen the title or the caption, the title will have appeared at the start of the clip and it'll have its own animation, and the caption won't have any animation at all, and it'll appear in whatever clip you've currently selected. So normally the caption will be what you want. The last couple of bits then, again, add videos and photos. You might notice you can add an image instead of a video clip. So again, you just open that up, you navigate to where you want to be, you open the video, you can click and drag it from your other browser window again as you like, and it'll come in with a preset of about 5 seconds I think it comes in with. And that's just, you've got your image in the background. Again, you can just throw credits on top of the all it's done is made your image a video file instead of just a still image, and you can treat that as you would any other video clip. So you can see the various spots in your timeline. You've got your clip at your video clip at the top. You've got the music clip underneath, and then underneath that, if you've added text, as we just added the caption there, you've got that underneath. Most of the files that you bring in, if you're adding text or titles or captions or anything, they'll come in with a preset length of clip, depending on, again, if it's a title or a caption or the credits. And you can edit this if you like in the clip settings. You can just see here a couple of the different animations you can have for the captions that come in. Once you've finished with your video file, you've got a couple of options. You can save the project, and what that does is it just saves the settings for Windows Movie Maker, all the clips that you've got, the music file, the text file. So we'll close down and then open it up again, and you'll just see that that's saved everything that we just did there. We'll just open it up and it's exactly the same. What that's not doing is it's not saving the finished video, which is probably what you really want to do. Now you can either publish it directly to these sites, and you might get error messages like that. We don't really want to do that. What we normally do is we go down to Save Movie. You've got recommended settings, you've also got custom settings that you can set up. I've already set up a couple of them, as you could have seen at the top there, but just to go through the process, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, that's where your recent settings can come up. All the way down at the bottom you've got your custom settings, so you can create custom settings. Now this window has got a whole bunch of the different variations that you can have. As a standard you might have your high def settings, which has got your 1920 by 1080. Alternatively, you might not want it to be such a large file, because you can see that's 173 megabytes per minute of video, so you can cut that in half and get a 720 video instead. Those are roughly the two that I've got set up. You can fiddle about with it and get the settings to match what you've recorded the video settings as, but as I play in 1920 by 1080 and I record in 1920 by 1080, then that is fine for me to do. You can see the different settings we've got here set up for the the two different ones. So what you can do is you can save a new setting there. You just edit it, edit the name. You can edit the ratios to be anything you like. You can change the audio files, and you just click save. And then when you come into your save movie file, it pops up in your recent settings. If it's not in your recent settings, it's down at the bottom under your custom settings. So once you're finished, you click on the format you want it to be saved in, you hit save, and then you have to wait for some time. You're looking at a 15-minute video. That might take upwards of half an hour to actually save through on these settings. Depends exactly what video types you've been using, if it's been directly recorded from Fraps or if it's been downloaded from YouTube or anything like that. Since we can't be bothered actually sitting and watching for this, we'll just skip to the end and give you a brief demonstration of exactly what kind of video you would expect out of this. When it's finished processing, you get a pop-up box asking you if you want to play the movie or open in the folder that you've saved it in, but we'll just click play. So that was a brief guide to how to edit movies with Windows Movie Maker. It's not the most sophisticated tool. It's certainly for our more advanced projects we tend to use programs like Sony Vegas Pro. But it was a very basic tool for taking raw files that you might have recorded with Fraps or something similar and just turning it into something that you can actually upload to YouTube with some very basic animations or text or anything on it. So I hope this has been helpful, and see you another time.